Hello, welcome back to another edition All in Metals. I know this is a controversial topic, but I thought I'd go ahead and dive into it anyway because, hey, maybe it's on somebody's mind and this will be helpful in some way. Again, not financial advice. Please understand that everybody has own unique financial circumstance and situation, income, etc. And please consult yourself, your family, and or your financial advisor. But again, this is just information. Could it be done? How would it look? How would it work? Is it a good idea? Should you attempt to do this to go ahead and buy metals? I think to cut to the chase to a certain extent, the short answer is maybe. I will say, in full disclosure, I have done this. Like many of you, I have other retirement accounts. I work for an employer who has 401ks and retirement pensions and different things. Certain things I have access to, some I don't. 401k is one of those, and it does allow, as many employers and perhaps yours, the ability to take out a loan. There's many tools and things that would try to, again, convince you that maybe you should consider not doing that. You're stripping away from future earnings and savings that could potentially occur. That may be true. So again, not financial advice. It is something I've done. So I thought I would step through this. And I've done it for the purpose of buying metals. Hence my channel, All In Metals. So without further ado, I just wanted to get into show you just a couple screenshot essentially of a page from my 401k. Many of yours may be similar. There's usually just some big players that administer these accounts. So you would just log in to your account, look for a tab or something off to the side that might say loans, and you can navigate through that. There may be a few steps to get there or to allow you to process these, but they are actually pretty straightforward and simple and quick generally to achieve and attain these funds. So as you see, this might be an opportunity. Say you have these type of accounts but have not really delved into buying precious metals yet, but you've been heavily contemplating it, but you also want to maybe hedge that against what you already have in your portfolio. For me, it was a situation of I had already moved the accounts that I could into more conservative investments, just for sake of where we are at currently in the economy. It makes sense for me. Again, not financial advice. So if it's just sitting there in a savings type of account, a fixed income, fixed contract, or stable fund, those are earning, now they may be increasing, but they're earning anywhere from under 1% to maybe up to 2%. So consider this. Maybe this allows you to, in this case, I have an option to borrow up to $50,000, or in this case, 50% of your vested balance up to $50,000. So this could be different for everybody, for every employer, and they may or may not allow you to do this at your employer. So, but many do. Consider this. The rate of return would be 5.75%. I believe this is a prime rate plus 1. So as the Fed continues to raise rates, this rate that you're paying back to yourself is essentially your own return back into that account. So yes, you're stripping monies away from your current accounts or investment types. So those will leave or be diminished. But again, in my case, it was already only earning 1, maybe 2%. So when you pay yourself back, you're paying yourself your own self interest in essence, and then it's a rate of return back to yourself. Those total dollars go back into your account. In this case, you can pick up to 5-year term. So you can pick I think up anywhere up to there. Just for a straight standard loan. You can see my particular account allows for me to have one loan outstanding or two across plans, depending on how many plans I have open. So this is certainly something that could be considered. Particularly, again, as I said, maybe you don't currently own precious metals, or you want to add to what you have. Maybe you have other investments, maybe land or second home or anything. Or you just want to simply own something tangible, and this is a good way to do that and to diversify out of maybe some retirement accounts that you may have into precious metals without, say, doing a gold IRA or something where it's the gold is kept at some vault location that you don't really ever see it. Not to say it's not there, but that's something you'd have to figure out in that circumstance. But this is something where you would get the loan, get the money, take the money, spend the money, buy precious metals. Again, I did a video on some places where I like to shop. You may find others that you might like to, or go to your local coin shop, etc. So again, not financial advice, but I thought I would breach the topic. I know it's a controversial one, and it's not for everybody. It is, in essence, taking on a debt. This will, in my case, gets taken out of my paycheck. In my case, I actually was contributing a decent amount, so I just backed off what I was contributing to allow for the loan and repayment. So it wasn't anything that was consequential hugely for myself to do this, but it allowed me to garner some quick dollars, if you will, to load into precious metals and out of, again, fiat dollars, which is part of my goal. And again, maybe part of your goal as well. Again, not financial advice. I just say that just to protect myself, because I'm not asking that you go do this, but it's certainly something you could consider. But again, I do advocate for being all in metals. I feel that's a place that you can't go wrong in the sense of owning something, precious metals that are money. They are currency. They are a safe haven, if you will. They generally have protected over inflation. They would generally do well for you into the future, is my belief. So again, that's what this stems around, and take this for what you will, and hopefully it's been helpful in some way. Maybe it's something you've been contemplating, but again, please consider, as many would say. I mean, it's not a great thing to borrow money to buy precious metals, or to go into debt, or use credit cards or other instruments to just load up on precious metals. So you want to do things in a proper way, in a safe way, in a manner that doesn't create any liquidity problems for yourself or any additional burden, particularly in this time where, again, I believe, as I said in my previous videos, and you're probably hearing in the news left and right, the recession attributes are mounting hour by hour, essentially. So we'll see where this heads going into the next few weeks. And certainly the Fed is looking to raise rates by 75 and maybe 1%, just like a Bank of Canada just did. So it's not out of the question. Obviously, things like debt instruments that you may have, or credit cards or lines of credit, those are all being affected whenever those reset, whether it's monthly or quarterly. So as rates rise, you certainly want to try to be out of those with any balances if you can, or try to diminish or dwindle those balances, pay them off. But everything I found in life is about balance. So maybe that's the same for you. Balance as well as you can. And also what I would just describe here would be something that obviously you would want to ensure that you feel secure in your job, and that you're going to be there and have the time span for the repayment period that you can continue to pay that and pay that back, and give yourself that return back, and get that money back into your retirement account. maybe for a different period of time. I think I've advocated and stated that maybe we're in a time where historically has happened where markets go down for an extended period of time, and then it may take many years potentially for those to turn the corner and maybe rise again. So maybe this is also an ability then to defer some of that, but also giving yourself a positive return in the case where potentially stocks may have negative return. So this is kind of another bolstering of securing and insurance against a downturn, if you will, if that's your belief. So I'll leave it at that. Leave a like if you like the content, or if you have any comments, please leave them below. Thank you very much.